Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Recovering Addict. I'm LT and I'm an alcoholic addict. Well, at least I used to be. That was about 4 years ago. Back in the early 2000s, I hit rock bottom with meth. And then later in life, I became an alcoholic, like in my late 30s, until I was drinking like fifths a night in gallons. Had to check into rehab, did 6 months in a rehab, and then started a YouTube channel. Started the YouTube channel, and right as the pandemic hit, and now here we are 4 years later, feeling good. So let's jump right into it. Today, wait, let me get to my stuff so I can tell you what we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going to talk about building healthy routines. So the first part of this show right now, we're going to hit our daily devotional about freedom from addiction through the Bible app, YouVersion. And then we're going to go through building healthy routines, the importance of daily routine and recovery, examples of morning routines, the role of exercise. Exercise is a huge thing with me. And I love jazz hands. Let's see what happens when I do the jazz hands. Anything happening? Yay. I'm supposed to I think if I do this, I get his balloons. Balloons. Come on, give me some balloons. There we are. I don't know why it does that. We're going to talk about exercise. Exercise is huge and important. So I'm partners in a gym called Iron House. It's out here in Ogden, and that's where we actually have our group Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 6 to 8. We work out together, and health and routines and exercise are very important in my life. I just got done doing 35, 40 minutes of exercise right now before I jumped on here. So we're going to talk about the role of exercise and what we're talking about is building healthy routines. You need a good routine in life. We're going to talk about mindfulness and meditation. We're going to talk about balancing work, life, and recovery. Sleep hygiene. What's your sleep schedule look like? Sleep is a huge battle of mine. We're going to talk about time management tips. We're going to incorporate hobbies and interests. We're going to talk about that. And number 10, we're going to talk about staying flexible and adapting to routine because life freaking happens. But the first thing I want to get into is our daily devotions. Who do we got on here? We got Brad Kendall. What's up, sunshine? Good to see you, brother. How's life treating you? How's everything going? Good. I hope it's going good. So if you don't know what's going on, you see this thing across the bottom of the screen here. It says day 3 of a 75-day challenge. I've started myself on a 75-day challenge to build a habit of healthy routines for myself because I was slipping back into being lazy. And I didn't want that to continue to snowball. If it snowballs, you know how that gets, right? It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger till it finally crushes something. And I have a shoulder injury. I got a torn rotator cuff, dislocated bicep tendon. Took me out of my workout routine because there's things I can't do. The stuff that I was used to doing, I couldn't do anymore. And we work out hard at our program. Some of us work out extremely hard. I love mountain biking and all that stuff. So it put me in this funk, and it almost gave me this feeling of just give up, just take it easy till it heals, until the whole problem goes away, and then get back into it instead of trying to adapt and work around the injury and stay on track. I started slipping back into being lazy and mediocre, and I was like, man, I can't do that. What am I doing? I wanted to sit around and eat M&Ms and just if there was cake and candy, and obviously the season and holidays that we were in didn't help the situation any because we've been through multiple Christmas events and parties and Christmas Day and all that stuff and all the sugar and everything that went that way. So I decided on December 26th, I'm going to go live every single morning. I'm going to do 2 workouts a day. It's just a mirror of the 75-day hard challenge. This will be about the 3rd time I've done this. It's not easy. It's very difficult to do because it's the thing you have to do every single day, no matter what, whether you like it or not. And that's the position I've put myself in. And so today you are witnessing day 3, and going live every single morning is a part of this plan that I'm on. And that is to get on here, hold myself accountable, hopefully motivate some of y'all out there to quit using drugs or get back into the swing of things. If you feel like you become lackadaisical, if you feel like you're slipping off and you're just looking for that little bit of extra motivation and drive, just to know that, hey, there's a guy right here that you're looking at, that you're listening to, that's struggling just like you. And so what's he doing? What am I doing to combat that? I set myself up a schedule, a hard one, a routine. I set my alarm at 5 o'clock. My phone alarm goes off and it sounds like barking dogs, so that scares me awake. And then my Alexa alarm goes off with David Goggins playing in the background. Always motivating to hear some sound bites from that guy, right? So we're structuring our live streams. We're going to go through this morning meditation, this devotional through the Bible app. It's called Freedom from Addiction. And then we're going to go and talk on day 3 about building healthy routines. So he says in this devotion, on the devotional part, it says, I think sometimes we hear the word love and simply brush it off because it is used so often. Think about that. It is used so often. I love my wife, right? I love my kids. I love chocolate. I love my truck. You know what I mean? The word love can just be watered down when we think about that. We have to remember that love isn't just this word, right? It's actually a person. And that person is Jesus Christ. And when we realize that love has a definition, this guy says it was a game changer for me and my relationship with God. A huge part of recovery is finding your higher power. If the Bible isn't your higher power and the God of that Bible is not your higher power, that's fine. You're still searching. That's great. But I have found that power, the actual power that sustains the universe, that's where I'm fully sold. I'm bought in. That's what I love. It talks about Christ, and I'm going to talk about Christ. So if that doesn't bother you, great. If it does, I'm sorry. But that's where my convictions lie, and I'm not going to be ashamed of that, because it is keeping me on track. It is keeping me heaven bound. That's what I'll say. So Jesus is patient with us. Jesus is kind to us. Jesus is not jealous. Jesus does not brag. He is not arrogant. Jesus does not act disgracefully. Jesus does not seek his benefit. Jesus is not provoked. Jesus does not keep an account of wrongs suffered. Jesus does not rejoice in unrighteousness. Jesus, in the truth, rejoices in the truth. Jesus keeps every confidence. Jesus believes in all things. Jesus hopes for all things. Jesus endures all things, and Jesus never fails. The Father's deepest desire for you is that you live a long life of wholeness with him. He wants you to know the width and the length and the height and the depth, and to know the love of Christ, which surpasses knowledge. We all want to be loved by our parents. Like, there's something weird about our parents, right? We look at these people that we are their offspring, and we almost spend our whole life trying to please them or make them proud and get an attaboy or an attagirl. And man, I just want my parents to be proud of me. Oh, what is that, right? They're just humans like us. And like the older you get, now I'm in my 40s, I look back and I go, oh, they're just normal people trying to make it in this rotten world and did the best they could. And so I give them grace and mercy for that, because they are fallible human creatures. They can't love to the depths of love that this is talking about. God is so serious about accomplishing this in our lives that his Son of God, that the Son of God left his throne in heaven, and he came to endure shame and humiliation, and it was hung on a cross. God would not send his Son to save us and then fail to follow through on his main objective. He is serious about walking you into wholeness and freedom. Do you want to be free? Do you want to be free to your slave life of addiction and the mentality that's keeping you weak and broken and sad? I want to be happy. Don't you want to be happy? And I'm seeking joy, and I'm seeking happiness, and I'm seeking peace. And this is how I find it. So I'm just relaying to you what I'm doing that works for me. Like being here today with y'all is holding me accountable. I'm going to read through this, and then I'll get to the comments and check out what Brad's talking about here in just a second. So here's a prayer tip for today, if you're a prayer. Take a few minutes today and ask God to help you understand his love for you. Ask him to take you on a journey to show you the immensity of his love. And when you begin to understand and grow in his love for us, the reality of his righteousness, peace, and joy will naturally settle down in our hearts. And here's your action step. Challenge yourself to think, what is my definition of love? What is your definition of love? If you have a second, you can get on here. Give me a little type. What is your definition of love? Does it line up with the real definition of love? Try doing a little thinking, writing, and praying about this question. Think about love. What is your definition? Okay? For this is how God loved the world. He gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. Love is patient. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud. Love is not rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable. And it keeps no wrong record of being wronged. Like when people sin against you or hurt you, it doesn't keep a record of that. Love does not keep that as a record. Love does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. Prophecy and speaking in unknown languages and special knowledge will become useless, but love will last forever. In Ephesians 3, it says, when I think of this, I fall to my knees and I pray to the Father, the creator of everything in heaven and on earth. I pray that from his glorious, unlimited resources, he will empower you with an inner strength through his Spirit. Then Christ will make his home in your hearts, and you will trust in him. Your roots will grow down into God's love and keep you strong. And may you have the power to understand, as all God's people should, how wide, how long, how high, and how deep his love is for you. May you experience the love of Christ though it is too great to understand fully. Then you will be made complete with all the fullness of life and power that comes from God. Fullness, power, peace, love, joy. Now all glory to God, who is able through his mighty power at work within us to accomplish infinitely more than we can even ask or think. Amen to that. Oh, I love it. So you want to be free from addiction? Dig deep. Go spiritually deep, physically deep. Mentally challenge yourself. Start seeking out this joy. Start seeking and looking. All right, so we got Brad. We got Pam in the house. What's up, Pam? How are you doing? Geesh says, good morning. All right, here we go. Wait. Day 1. Brad says, day 11. Different smoothie. Strawberry, banana, greens. Look at that, Brad. He says, I'm not talking about nothing really. I just started doing a smoothie for breakfast. Different every day. Today it's strawberries, banana, and greens. Wow. Good for you, Brad. Geesh says, just hiding out at work, trying to get my day off to a good start. How's the weather out there? It's been like zero snow, zero rain, but it's been pretty freaking chilly, pretty cold. You have a good Christmas? Geesh, Brad, y'all have a good Christmas? We had a good Christmas. Christmas was good around here. So let's talk about building healthy routines. What is a routine? What is a habit, right? What does a healthy routine look like? And I like to look at this when you kind of look back at your life and look at the routine you were in. When I was in my heaviest drinking years, and I wasted 5 solid years of my life drinking. And my routine, I worked at Hill Air Force Base, which is an Air Force base here in Utah. I worked there for 10 years, and my routine would be wake up at 4:30, get to work, clock in at 5:30, work my day, right? Take my couple little breaks, and then on my way home, I would hit the liquor store. I would grab a big thing of whiskey, and then when I got home, I would go straight down to the basement, and by about 5 o'clock, I was pretty smashed. So I was trying to do just a pint a night at that time, at some of the times and throughout those 5 years, but then gave up, and then it was just, blackout drunk every night. And so by 5 o'clock, I was wasted. And I would continue to drink until I passed out, whenever that was in the evening, wake up again at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, hungover, still drunk, and go to work. And that was my stinking routine for like years. Unhealthy. A very unhealthy routine. And now we want to change our routines. Brad says, up and down here for weather, cold today and warm tomorrow. Nice. No snow. We did not have a white Christmas here in Utah, FYI, if you were wondering. So how do you structure routines and aid in reducing uncertainty and stress? So discuss how structure and routine and aid in reducing uncertainty and stress. So the cool thing about a routine, like I've set up, if you watch the video pinned to the top of my Facebook page on the Recovering Addict page, you'll see that I wrote down right here on this board a routine from 5 a.m. till lights out. From lights on till lights out. All day long, I have put down a timeline of my routine. Will I match it every day exactly? No, but it's a good guideline. It's a default to fall back on. And how does that handle stress? When you don't know when you feel like you don't know what to do, you have a playbook, right? It gives you a playbook for your day. So you're, oh, I'm stressed out. What do I do? Oh, I said that at this time I was going to do this. And so you do it, whether you like it or not, whether you feel like it, whether you're in the mood to do it, you just do it. And so it takes that stress off the table. Your day is lined out and you don't have to trip or worry about what you need or have to do. And that is a good psychological benefit for the mind to keep yourself stress-free, right? I know when I went to bed last night that my alarm was going to go off at 5 o'clock and I was going to force myself out of bed. Today was tough. It was hard. Day 3. And the thing with this 75-day challenge is the first week, like the first couple days, kind of easy. You got a couple workouts in. You're still feeling pretty good, you know. You feel like the water weight come off. You feel the bloating out of your belly start to go away. But then day 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, your workouts and the soreness and the stiffness start catching up to you. So you're walking around limping a little bit, having a hard time going upstairs or sitting down on chairs. And so that's kind of like a thing you have to deal with, right? Like, oh, my body's hurting. But it's a part of the routine that gets easier and easier. And now I knew I had to get up at 5 o'clock. And I knew from 5 o'clock till 5:45, I was going to read and meditate and pray. And I did that while I was drinking coffee. And I knew at 5:45, I was going to go behind this wall here and get on a stationary bike, and I was going to pedal it for 35, 40 minutes and get sweaty. And then I knew from 5 or 6:30 to 7, I was going to set this up, turn the lights on, make sure my battery was good, my microphones were working, get my papers out, digital papers here, and know that I was going to come on here. I knew that was going to happen. And then when this live stream is over, I know that I'm going to go sit at my computer. I'm going to catch up on some stuff. I'm going to send out some emails. I'm going to read some emails, and I know I'm going to do some work stuff, right? We're going to talk about videos. We're going to see how our other teammates are doing on our projects. And I have work to do. And I know that at 12 o'clock, whatever, 11:30, 12, somewhere in that area, I'm going to stop and I'm going to eat some good, healthy food, proteins, fat, carbs. And if I sit on the couch and eat that stuff and I nod off for 20 minutes, so be it. And I know at 1 o'clock, I'll get back into my computer stuff and I'll start working. And then I know about 3 o'clock or so that I'll take a complete break from everything. Whether I fall asleep, take a nap, or I go to the store with my wife, or I hang out with the kids, or I start researching some stuff and catching up on other things. Who knows, right? And then I know at 6 o'clock tonight, I'm going to be back at the gym. I'm going to work out. And then when I get home, I'm going to eat some good food. I'm going to chill out with the kids. I'm going to watch an episode of something, and then it's going to be lights out. That's my daily routine. I have no stress about what I'm going to do today because it's already been planned out. For the next 75 days, I have no stress about what I have to do because it's already been planned out. So that is the importance of a daily routine. It gives you a default to fall back onto. What does your daily routine look like right now? Do you wake up and you know you have to go to work because you got some bills to pay? But the hour or so before you have to go to work and the 6 hours or so after work, or 8 hours, whatever it is, before you go to bed, do you have that planned out? Do you have a schedule? Do you know what you want to do? Or are you kind of just going, just lollygagging and blabbing through life? And that leaves you feeling so unfulfilled, so unwholesome, so unrewarding. It really does. Like, I've noticed that when I do these challenges like I'm doing right now with this 75-day, forcing myself into a routine that's uncomfortable, I notice that I perform better at life when I challenge myself to do these things rather than, oh, I don't know what I got to do this morning. I know I got a little bit of stuff, but it doesn't really matter. I'll sleep in until I don't feel like sleeping anymore, you know. And then I'll just kind of, when I go, I think I might do a workout today. I might not. I might if I feel like it. And way like 90% of the time, more often than not, you're not going to feel like working out, so you don't. But when I force myself to do these things, man, and you get into this like zone of being comfortable, uncomfortable, that your mind starts working better, you feel stronger, you feel more satisfied with life. It's a weird thing. It's like hard to get there. It's hard to jump into and hard to do. But I'm telling you, and if you can structure yourself as a highly disciplined, high achieving type of person's lifestyle with habits and healthy routines, you're going to be more satisfied in life. It's going to make your life easier and better, even though it's harder. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's crazy. Choose your hard, because to be lazy and mediocre brings its own ball of hardness that's just like a different type of unsatisfying, unwholesome, and more struggles. There's more mental struggles being lackadaisical and mediocre because your imagination runs wild. You're influenced by the outside world a lot easier. You're not as strong and you're not as quick mentally as you could be. It's crazy. That's right. Be strong. You look strong. Thanks, brother. Getting there. Except for my shoulder. I can't even lift my arm. Torn rotator cuff and a dislocated bicep tendon, man. Talk about making me mad. And the real thing that made me mad, the real thing that really just about knocked me off of my whole attitude, and I imagine if I would have rode this shitty attitude wave down far enough, man, I could have ended up drinking. You know what I mean? Like, here's the crazy thing. Okay, so I find out, I get an MRI. I find out I need surgery. Okay, torn and dislocated. I go to the doctor. He's like, yep, there's no doubt you need surgery. That's the only type of thing that heals these type of wounds and injuries, okay? And so I'm like, cool, let's schedule surgery. We schedule surgery. And scheduled surgery about 2 weeks out. So I'm like mentally preparing, kind of setting my life up for the next 6 months of recovery, because I'm going to be in a sling for 6 weeks. And then after that, you're restricted to like 2 pounds, 5 pounds, month by month, until like 3-4 months later, you're finally off no restriction once it's good and healed and it has strengthened up. So my mind's preparing for this. How am I going to handle work? How am I going to handle the gym, my groups, my day-to-day life? How am I going to do this? I'm just preparing for all this time, right? And so the day comes for my surgery. It's like a Tuesday or something like that. Felice takes the day off. It's in the morning. I put on all my comfy clothes. I make sure all my hair is shaved. I make sure I'm super clean. Mentally, I'm prepared. Like I'm driving there and I'm like, man, if I get, when you get put under anesthesia and you go into a surgery, there's that risk that you're not going to wake up, and so I'm mentally preparing for this kind of stuff. Like, if I die, am I okay with that? Am I happy with the way that I lived the last 4 years of my addiction years? I screwed that up. But am I satisfied with the way I lived? Are my kids going to remember good things about me now? Am I ready to meet God? Like all these things are running through my head before you lay on an operating table. So I walk in there in my nice comfy clothes, surgery day, preparing to get knocked out, wake up, come home groggy, stitches. I'm prepared mentally. I'm prepared logistically. I walk into the doctor's office and they're like, oh, yeah, your insurance said yesterday you're not approved. And I was like, what? Pissed. I was furious. So I've been kind of battling the insurance, but I don't blame the insurance. I blame the provider and just paperwork stuff. But anyway, it knocked me off my rocker. I came home, I was mad, didn't want to work out, didn't want to go to the gym, just wanted to give up. I don't know. It just put me there, right? And I'm not shitting you. This is the crazy part. We're sitting there. I'm pissed. I'm researching my insurance company and all this kind of stuff. Felice gets a text from our local pharmacy right down the street. Your prescription for Oxycontin is ready for pickup. And she's like, you just got a prescription for Oxycontin. I was like, what? Can't get surgery, get knocked off my rockers, and bam, here's a free bottle of Oxycontin saying, come and get me. I didn't talk to a doctor. I didn't ask for a prescription. And I told the doctors before that, like, I'm good. I can just take Advil and I'm fine. I don't want any of that stuff. But yet, lo and behold, go to get a surgery, insurance doesn't prove it. Boom, here's a bottle of Oxycontin. Imagine if I wasn't on my game and hadn't been strong in my recovery up to that point. How easy it could have been for me just to go grab that bottle of Oxycontin and drift away into self-pity and numb everything out. Freaking crazy. Blew my mind. Anyway, I was pissed about that. Geesh says, I just been out here drifting. I'm so glad you are doing this. I am hoping I can get caught up in your current and get moving again. Oh, absolutely, buddy. Get caught up. The water's warm. Jump in. We need RA Online back again. Yeah, we do. So I've been going live every other Sunday in this location right here, and I've been having a guest. And the thing that I really want to do, bring it back, and I want to go live as often as I used to, but I started a nonprofit, bought into a gym. I have a local group now, like a 15, 20 people, because we're a legit nonprofit in this community of Ogden and Salt Lake City, Utah. And we're becoming an integrated part of this recovery world here. And we have people that rely on us, and it's pretty awesome. I'm not complaining here at all. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 6 to 8, that's what we do. We have relapse prevention therapy in person, big old circle of us after a workout. With that, I keep it free. Just like, remember when through COVID and all that kind of stuff, this live stream was meant to be free, jump on, instant support. That's what I've created, but here physically, locally. And to pay for that, I created another company called RA Studios. And if you go to our website at recoveringaddict.org, you'll see our RA Studios and you'll see the work that we've done. And we have a huge client list now because that's starting to take off to help fund our nonprofit. And to find the time to be able to sit here for an hour, Felice and I, or whatever, that's where I've been struggling, because I want to bring it back, but yet I'm building this other company and I've got a couple employees now. My son actually is right here working on a video for a client in Salt Lake. And so, we're trying. I'm trying to get everything just running like a good, well-oiled machine, and then we'll try to bring all that back. And this morning live stream is about the best I can do at the moment. So, starting off your days with a scheduled routine. I will do this at this time, no matter what, no matter how I feel, whether I want to or not, is going to kickstart your day with positivity. My son's back here. He's on day 3 with me. He's doing the 75-day challenge, working out twice a day. And it was hard to get out of bed. Our legs are stiff. And yet here we are at 7:30, feeling positive because we've accomplished something 80% of the world has not done yet. 80% of America is still in bed. Or they jumped out of bed 5 minutes before they had to get to work, and they're getting to work with toothpaste in the corners of their mouths, starting their day in chaos, right? We've already jumped ahead. We've already claimed today as ours. We've become the owner of this day because we took hold of the day. The day didn't just grab us and take hold of us. And that is a positive feeling. And when you push yourself to do it, whether you like it or not, positivity always follows. Every workout I do, I don't want to do, but there's never been one I regret. And that goes the same with meditation and prayer and reading. If you get up and you get into some type of positive, educational, spiritual, whatever literature that's going to educate your mind, and you meditate on that, and you will not regret it. It will be an accomplishment for the day, and it will kickstart your brain in the right way. So start your day with purpose. Write that down, take notes of it. Make a plan for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is the 28th. No, today's the 28th. Tomorrow's the 29th of December. What are you going to do? Pick a good time to get out of bed. I would suggest 30 minutes earlier than you normally do. Make yourself get up. The alarm goes off, you throw the covers off, you stand up out of bed like an ornery, grumpy old man. Walk straight to the coffee pot. Brew yourself a pot of coffee. Go sit down at the kitchen table, wherever you like to sit down, and force yourself to read something. And the Bible app that I use, the cool thing that I like about it, because my eyes are still kind of like groggy and I can't see very good, is you can hit play and it reads it for you. And so you could do that with an Audible book, right? You can just hit play, sit there and meditate while you're listening to it, drinking your coffee, waking up, forcing yourself into these things, right? And do it this most streamlined. Technology today is amazing. Use it to your advantage. Everything out there is an amazing tool. Obviously, the role of exercise is huge in a healthy routine. It's going to physically benefit you. I just did 35 minutes, 40 minutes of easy cardio, not extreme cardio, but enough to get my oxygen and my blood and everything flowing through. And then after Xylan made us some eggs, boom, I've got a belly full of good protein, no carbs. I feel amazing. How is it that at 7:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, I can sit here and talk like a chicken with my head cut off? If that is even a thing, right? But it's because I got up and got myself prepared and I got myself energized, and I went through my good, healthy routine of exercise. And the nutrition that follows, right? Today, after this, I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to take my vitamins. I'm going to drink, like I do every day, 2 of these. This is a half gallon of water. I fill it up with ice, and I fill it all the way up with water. I squeeze 2. You can go to Smith's or a local grocery store, and you can squeeze 2 lemons in here, right? And the lemons are seedless. Freaking love it, because lemons have a ton of seeds. And I'll drink one, and then about 2 o'clock, I'll refill it, and I'll drink another one. So a lot of water. Good protein, good carbs. You know the diet thing. Get on a schedule to eat healthy as well. Work out, eat. Eat before you work out, and then when you're done, eat something healthy. And all day you're drinking water. Mindfulness and meditation. shut off the noise in your life. How much screen time? Grab your phone one of these times after this live stream or whatever. Go into your settings and find screen time. It will tell you how much time you spend on every single app inside your phone. And the numbers are staggering. And then if you want, write down how much time you spend on Netflix, Hulu, all the streaming devices. Write all that down. It will blow your mind at how much time you actually spend on these devices. Shut that noise off for a while. Bring yourself back into the vast reality of right now and just meditate. Listen to the sounds in your own house, the house creaking, the heater kicking on. Take a deep breath. 15, 20 minutes, just shut it all off and become mindful and meditate. Okay? This will just help relieve stress. This will help, like all that blue light that's coming into your face all day long from computer screens and TVs and your cell phone isn't too good for you, especially when you're trying to wind down and go to bed. It's doing the opposite of what your body needs. Is like the melatonin starts to kick in when actually in the morning you want that light from the sun to wake you up, right? And it confuses your brain with all that light from your phone and the TVs and all that kind of stuff. So just shut stuff off for a little bit and meditate. And now, how do you balance your work and your personal life and your recovery commitments? If you have any comments on that, let me know. How do you do it? If you build it, they will come. I agree, dude. 100%. Did you get my text? I did not. Did you just now text me? What up, Link? Oh, Link was in here apparently. That's awesome. He says, and first thing in the morning is an absolute most important thing. It sets the tone. Absolutely. You got to set the tone. You are going to have the day you create within the first 30 minutes to an hour. Oh, I like that, dude. That is a fact. You are going to have the day you create within the first 30 minutes to an hour of your day. Ooh, that's money, buddy. Where'd you hear that? Did you just come up with that? That was for Geesh. Oh, copy that. Copy that. So balance it, right? What are some strategies for maintaining a balance without feeling overwhelmed? A lot of overachievers, high achieving people, if you look at them that are very successful, they're very unhealthy too, right? You know, they're hurting themselves with sleep. They don't eat right because they're so busy all the day. So I don't suggest grind all day long. I'm a work in bursts kind of person. For my life, it works good. I get up early, I bust out a few things, and then I chill and I let my body calm down. I let the stress go away, and then I re-engage. And I'm very intentional about the work I do in the moments that I do it. But man, I'll take a nap every single day. I'll sleep good at night, and I'll take a nap during the day, and then have fun, obviously. I like to balance my life with that kind of stuff. And then I've set schedules with time with the family. We like to try to now read together as a family 2 to 3 times a week in the evenings when we're not a group. Been going to church a lot lately. Every Sunday morning we're at church together as a family. And so I'm trying to balance this good spiritual hard work, exercise, meditation. Just try to lay it all out. We all got 24 hours in a day, right? How's your sleep schedule? He said, I did. And then he says, but it's being learned over the past few months. It's better when I get up running versus get up and slouching. Oh, heck yeah. No doubt. Dude, I agree. So get on a good sleep schedule too. Your sleep schedule is huge in helping you. Just like exercise is good and nutrition is good and feeding your brain with nonfiction, good education, all that kind of stuff is good. Sleep schedule is good. To have your body's hormones and all that stuff working in a cycle, right? So if you can get yourself to bed, lights out, get you some good sleep. It's actually a legit sleep cycle. You go through deep sleep and then up back into REM and then up in, right? And if you can get yourself to 3 or 4 of those per night, you're going to feel great in the morning. So that's what I try to shoot for. And then time management tips. List it out. Everybody has 24 hours in a day, and you can literally say, okay, I'm going to wake up at this time, 5 to 6, 6 to 7. This is what I'm going to do. From 7 to 8, this is what I'm going to do. And maybe it's bigger chunks than that, you know. Maybe from 7 to noon, I'm at work, and I know there's a 10-minute break in there somewhere, and there's ways that we know how to be lazy at work and get away with things, and so there's that time too. How can you write it down? The best time management tool you can have is to write it down. Write down every hour of the day and what you want to do within those hours, and then stick to it. And then after you've done that for a week, or maybe even 3 days, go back and reevaluate what works and what doesn't, what would fit where, and then adjust it until you finally find this awesome groove of life, right? And then you have to have some hobbies. You can't just be all work and no play, right? Figure out some hobbies. And if you've been here before and you know what I talk about, I always talk about try new things, experience new things, whether that would be hiking, that would be making rugs, becoming a weaver, or doing pottery, or painting, or writing, or you name it. Crocheting, going out and learning how to play Dungeons and Dragons, a card game, maybe pick up chess. Try a bunch of new stuff until you find something that you're like, man, this is cool, and you can get into. I could spend an hour every other day getting into this. I could spend 4 hours on the weekends jumping into this, wood making, carving, whatever floats your boat. But try a whole bunch of new things until you figure out what you like, because a lot of times we don't even know what we like anymore. We don't even know what's fun. We don't even know what interests us. We thought we liked this kind of stuff, and now we're clean and sober, and we go do it again, and it's like, this stuff isn't really as fun as I remember it, because I'm not drunk or high, you know? It's a good distraction from cravings too. Having a hobby is going to help you fill time with something positive. Especially times when do you maybe start journaling about this? When do you feel like you're the most depressed or the most lacking of energy and all that kind of stuff throughout the day? That's a good time to incorporate some type of hobby or meditation and mind distraction of some sort, right? A positive, healthy routine into that moment. Is it after work? Is it when you're tired and hungry? Like, how can you combat that with maybe a hobby? I don't know. I've been playing a lot of chess lately. Reading books on chess and just learning how to play. I suck. I want to be good. I'd love to be a grandmaster. Ain't never going to happen. But I've been playing a lot of chess lately. I found out that I really enjoy trying to be good at chess. And then you got to stay flexible and adapt to your routines, because stuff happens, right? Like me. My shoulder's broken, so I have to adapt, and I have to figure out how to work. Last night I went to the gym for my second workout of the day, and I want to work chest, and it is extremely difficult to work your chest when you have a broken shoulder. And so I had to learn new ways to grip and push, because the chest is a push motion, right? So I laid on a bench flat. I figured out if I lay flat and I keep my hands close together, and I only do about a half of a rep from mid to the top, that I can get a good squeeze on that center part of my chest. And then I found out that if I sit down and do flies, I can go up kind of high, keep the weight kind of low, and I can do this, and it doesn't hurt my shoulder. And then what other one did I do? Just those like machines, and it gave me like an incline, and I could start it up high, and it kind of kept my hands close enough. And so what my point is I adapted to the injury that I have and still was able to work out my chest. So that's what you're going to have to do in life too. Figure out what you need to do in life to get around the chaos that could possibly happen and arise throughout the day. You run out of gas, whatever little things that come up, problems and stuff that we have to solve. Your friend calls and needs help, or you have to go do an extra job for somebody and it's going to ruin this little routine. In a perfect world, you could keep your routine 7 days a week and not be bothered by anything or no one, right? But it's not like that. And those outside forces are going to come in, and you have to be able to learn how to adapt and adjust. Within this 75-day challenge that I'm doing, I expect to have a shoulder surgery in between here somewhere. And I'm going to show you all, if you stick around, how I'm going to adapt through that, what I'm going to do when it comes to pain management. What am I going to take? Am I going to take that Oxycontin that magically appears at the pharmacy for me? No, I'm going to take Advil. Am I going to work out? Probably not for the first couple of days. I'm going to let this get a good, nice heal on it and let them stitches and those wounds close before I start getting all funky sweaty on everything. So stay adaptable. Is there any times in your routines that you can think of how you adapted, and how did you handle it, and what was the outcome? Jim Gregor, with all that negativity in the world today, it is so refreshing to hear a positive, inspirational. Oh, thank you, Jim. Appreciate that. Love you. Lisa D says, good morning. Good morning, Lisa. Welcome to the show. And Brad says, good morning to Lisa as well. And he says, love it. That's why my chakra book told me a while back, balance yourself during the worst time of your day. Yeah. What part of the day do you feel the most shitty? Start journal. That's a good reason to journal. You can't figure out how to fix anything if you don't measure. That's the thing I've been taught my whole life and all the jobs that I've had is like, if you're not measuring and looking back to find the problems, they won't stand out because you haven't written them down. And that's why even like in the big book, it talks about taking inventory on step 4. You must write it down. You must take inventory of yourself and see what is good product and what is bad product. And then you start getting rid of the bad product. So take your days, write them down. And maybe like in a week or so, you'll notice like, man, every day about 3 to 5, I'm in a funk. And that is a good time to focus on some type of spirituality, some type of meditation, exercise. Exercise is always a good one. It's always a great go-to because it physically changes your hormone balance. You go out and run around the block or walk around the block or walk up a hill or stairs for 20 minutes. Your blood's going to circulate, your heart's going to pump harder, you're going to take deeper breaths of oxygen, and it's going to tell your brain, hey, we're under stressful activity here. We need hormones to fill these muscles to keep the machine running. And so what it does is drops natural pain relievers into your joints. After about 10 minutes, you'll notice that your joints loosen up and feel good. And then it drops positive endorphins and dopamine. And so exercise is always a good go-to because no matter what, it will change your mood because of just the way the body works. So I highly suggest exercise on any of those routines. So what you're seeing here is a 75-day challenge that I had to put on myself because I was becoming mediocre in my recovery walk in my life because I sustained an injury and I felt like I was getting off track, right? So I was like, okay, it's time to buck up. And I did it on purpose before January 1st because I'm not going to just be one of those New Year's resolutionists. I'm going to be somebody that's already doing it and is going to accomplish this. This isn't the first time I've done it either. So every morning for the next 75 days, I'll be going live here at 7 a.m. I'm doing 2 workouts a day. I'm eating healthy and I'm drinking a ton of water. So tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, we're going to be talking about coping strategies for stress. We're going to talk about a stress thermometer, how to manage your stress. We're going to identify personal stressors. We're going to look at physical activities to reduce stress, deep breathing and relaxation techniques, the role of a support network. We're going to look at healthy versus unhealthy coping mechanisms, and we're going to look at time management to reduce stress, mindfulness and stress reduction, importance of self-care. Maybe you need to seek some professional help, and we'll talk about that too. And then daily stress management routines. Brad says, is this the same 75-day challenge from the Black Book that you're just doing it again? Pretty much. I've set myself up a routine so that the first thing I do in the morning is read and meditate, mandatory. Next thing I do is cardio. Third thing I do is live stream. And then I do another workout in the evening. So yes, I'm doing 2 workouts a day. It's January here shortly, and I want to start shedding weight for spring and getting strong for spring. And then I want to be prepared to go through the surgery kind of stuff. But I just didn't want to get lackadaisical and be like, oh, my shoulders hurt and I can't do this and I'm bummed out and so I'm going to get lazy. And no, that ain't going to happen. Wolfman, good morning, brother. Yeah, so it's similar, but I've just added my own couple little things. It's not as crazy, but it's 75 days because what happens, it takes like 68 some odd days to actually build a good solid habit. So if you do 75 and say by weird chance you've missed 4 or 5 days, you're still above that 68 mark and that habit is ingrained in you. And once you can get this habit ingrained into your lifestyle of getting up, meditating and working out and eating healthy, you really notice it when you don't. And that is the best part of it, is when I start to slip off of this solid go-getter routines, I really feel the negative effect of not eating good, not drinking water, and not exercising. Because when I'm in this zone of the 75, 2 workouts a day, like I feel 9 feet tall and bulletproof most of the time. It's an amazing place to be, and I would highly suggest that you try it and challenge yourself to do something like this, especially if you're trying to quit doing drugs and alcohol, or you're trying to maintain and stay clean and sober, and you're struggling with it. It helps. I can't say it's the only way, right? Everybody's path to recovery is different. I'm going to tell you, I've studied a lot over the last 4 years. I've not only studied a lot, I've been in a lot of recovery circles, and I've witnessed a lot. And I'm talking about witnessing the quality of people's lives. We can't help. We all know we're going to die, right? There's no way we're going to lengthen our life past 90 to 100 years. Like, everybody is going to die. But the quality of life that you have up until you depart is what you do have control over. And I'm going to try, and I am trying, and I'm putting forth the effort to have a great quality life, that I can be strong as I can be physically, cardiovascularly, mentally, and spiritually as I walk this planet until I don't walk this planet no more. So that's my goal in life. And that helps with recovery. Did you stop vaping? That'd be a big negative, buddy. Still vaping. You'll continue on the 100, but I get it now. Copy that, buddy. All right, so till tomorrow, we're going to talk about stress tomorrow. So until then, you know the saying. Say it with me, y'all. Actually, we should say the serenity prayer, huh? Say it with me if you know it. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. And until next time, do not put yourself in a high-risk situation. Stay strong, work your program, and remember, we recover better together.